Hi, welcome back to our online preparation course for the TOEFL test. In this module, we are going to continue getting prepared for the grammar section of the test. In this video, we are going to be focusing on inversions with negatives. Okay, in the previous module, we talked about what an inversion is, and we said that it is just flipping, right, the verb and the subject. This means putting the subject on the verb's place and the verb on the subject's place, okay? We already covered inversions with question words and we covered inversions with place expressions, okay? So this time we are going to be talking about inversions with negatives. So when you are ready, let's get started. In previous modules, we covered negatives, okay? And we identified that there are negative words and almost negative words. In terms of negative words, we have never, no, neither, nor, and not. In terms of almost negative words, we have barely, hardly, only, rarely, scarcely, and seldom. Okay? So, for this matter of inversions with negatives, it is important to mention that all these words are considered negative and they follow exactly the same rules. So, be so kind to look at the following sentences. Not once did I miss a question. Never has Mr. Jones taken a vacation. At no time can the woman talk on the telephone. Okay? So if you notice, the three sentences start with a negative word. So, when a sentence starts with a negative word, an inversion is necessary. So if you notice, we flipped, right, the subject and the verb. But as we have an auxiliary, right, the inversion is auxiliary, subject, and verb. Did I miss? Okay? On the second one, we did the same. Okay? We flipped the subject and the verb. Again, we have an auxiliary, so the inversion is auxiliary, subject, and verb. And on the third case, right, as we have a modal verb, right, we need to have an inversion as auxiliary, subject, and verb as well. Okay, so every single time that you start a sentence with a negative word, you need an inversion. Now, look at these two sentences. Hardly ever does he take time off. Only once did the manager issue overtime paychecks. If you notice, the sentences start with almost negative words, hardly ever and only once. So, remember, when you start a sentence with a negative or an almost negative word, an inversion is necessary, just as it happens on the two sentences. We have an auxiliary, so the inversion needs to be auxiliary, subject, and verb. Okay? Hardly ever does he take time off, and only once did the manager issue overtime paychecks. Okay, look at these sentences. I do not want to go, and neither does Tom. The secretary is not attending the meeting, nor is her boss. It is important that you know that it doesn't matter if the negative word is on the first clause or on the second clause. If it is on the first clause, the inversion happens on the first clause. But if the negative word is on the second clause, the inversion has to happen on the second clause. And this is the case. I do not want to go, and neither does Tom. So if you notice, you have neither, right? And on the second one, the secretary is not attending the meeting, nor is her boss, so you have nor. Neither and nor are negative words, so if you notice in both, an inversion happens, okay? Let's answer this exercise. Only in extremely dangerous situations, stopped. What is the correct answer? A will be the printing presses. B, the printing presses will be. C, that the printing presses will be. D, will the printing presses be. Okay? So what is the correct answer? Notice that the sentence starts with only, and only is an almost negative word. So you need an inversion. The correct answer for this sentence is D, will the printing presses be. Only in extremely dangerous situations will the printing presses be stopped. So as you have a modal auxiliary verb will, the inversion is auxiliary verb, modal auxiliary verb will, subject the printing presses, and verb be. Okay? So remember, we have negative and almost negative words. Every single time that a sentence starts with any of these words, an inversion is needed. Let's do these exercises. Let's do number 1 and 2 together, and then you can answer the other 8 on your own. Number 1, never the boy wrote to his sisters. This sentence is incorrect. Why? Because if you notice, you are starting with a negative word and there is no inversion. An inversion is necessary. So, how does that happen? Never did the boy write to his sisters. If you notice, we had to add the auxiliary did. Why? Because the sentence is in past simple, so an auxiliary is needed. Number 2, on no occasion did they say that to me. This sentence is correct. Why? You are starting with a negative expression and there is an inversion. Did they say? Okay, take some minutes to answer these sentences, okay? Decide if they are correct or incorrect, if it is necessary that you go back to the explanation, or if it is necessary for you to pause the video. Be sure to do it, okay? So we can check answers. Number 3, Steve did not win the prize, nor did he expect to do so. The sentence is correct. Did you notice the negative word is on the second clause? So the inversion is necessary on the second clause. Nor did he expect. Number 4, only once in my life gone I have to New York City. This sentence is incorrect. You are starting with only, right? So you need an inversion that is auxiliary subject and verb. So the sentence should be, only once in my life have I gone to New York City. Number 5, did he go out of the house at no time? This sentence is incorrect. Why? Because it is not a question. It is a statement. So you are not starting with a negative word, so you don't need an inversion. You just need the subject and the verb. Number 6, seldom their secretary has made such mistakes. This sentence is incorrect. Why? You are starting with seldom. That is an almost negative word, so you need an inversion. The inversion is seldom has their secretary made such mistakes. Number 7, no sooner has she hung up the phone than it rang again. This sentence is correct. You have a negative word and you have an inversion. Number 8, Shayla did not arrive late for work, nor she left early. This sentence is incorrect. Why? If you notice the negative word is on the second clause, but there is no inversion, you need an inversion. So as the sentence is in past, you need the auxiliary did. So the sentence should be, Shayla did not arrive late for work, nor did she leave early. Okay? Number 9, barely had he finished the exam when the graduate assistant collected the papers. That is correct. Barely is an almost negative word. You are starting with barely, so you need an inversion. Had he finished. Number 10, the police did not arrive in time to save the girl, and neither did the paramedics. The sentence is correct. Why? Because the negative word is on the second clause, and you have an inversion. Okay? Go back to the module, answer the exercises, and see you next time. Bye-bye.